Hello trumpet players, welcome back to our weekly video lessons. We've taken a few weeks off with spring break and also some of our music theory work. We are going to be returning to our practice regimen now that more of you have your instruments at home. You will need your instrument for the rest of the term since we are finishing the term online. Today we're going to review the two different warm-up exercises we've learned so far, go back into the piece and talk about this, but also learn a third practice routine. Hopefully by this point you've had a chance to watch the video I sent out about practicing and how that works, just that little TED Ed talk. And this kind of reinforces that idea that the video speaks about of short practice sessions with an achievable goal. So what you do in a practice session, which we've talked about in weeks before, is set yourself up for success by doing 15 to 20 minute sprints at a time, not sitting down for an hour and a half at a single time. That's ineffective. So right now you should be looking at about 30 minutes a day of practice, between 20 and 30 minutes a day, in two different practice sessions of 15 minutes. So maybe carve out 15 minutes in the morning for you to sit down, play your exercises, just a couple of them, your long tone scale, your pattern scale, and then put the instrument down, go on with your day, do the rest of your classwork, come back after school and play another 15 minutes. So it doesn't feel like it's such a slog. Those shorter practice sessions are going to be more helpful to you. So, right off the bat, you are going to make sure you are in tune. Open up your tuner. Yours might look different than mine, and match this pitch. There's your C. So, go to your metronome. We're going to set it to 80 beats per minute. 8 beats on, 8 beats off, starting on C, ending on your high C. Ready? 1, 2, ready? Make sure the notes are long, thick, and consistent. 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. So that's it on its way up. I want you to pause this, go back, do that up and down at least twice. Should be a couple minutes in there. When you are playing, make sure you're sitting with proper posture on a nice hard chair, back straight. I'm sitting on a chair without a back, so it's forcing me to sit up nice and straight. Your trumpet should be perpendicular to the ground, not at an angle downwards, not at an angle upwards. Playing with good posture, arms out. I am not picky about whether or not you play straight up and down or slightly tilted. I play slightly tilted. It's more comfortable for me. That doesn't affect the sound. Sitting like this affects the sound. So, that is our first exercise. We're going to slow it down a bit, bring it down to 70, and go on to our second exercise. No, so it's do, do, re, do, do, re, mi, re, do, all the way up to your high do, and when we get to do, it's going to be do, do, ti, do, do, ti, la, ti, do, all the way back down again. All right? Make sure each note is connected, long, and you don't breathe in the middle of the scale. 2, ready? And there it is. So, I'm sure like me, your chops are a little bit weaker after spring break. We all don't play a lot during spring break. That's okay. It's about getting your chops back up to where they were before and pushing it even further. So even that high C got me a couple times on that do, going downwards. So keep working that out. It's going to get better again week by week. One last exercise I want to talk you through is going to add on to our repertoire. Do. So it's going to be, I'll set a metronome at 60 for this just to demonstrate. Quarter notes going. Okay. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, so, fa, la, so, ti, la, do, ti, re, do, do, la, ti, so, fa, mi, fa. So on the way down is harder. Do, do, la, ti, so, la, fa, so, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. So try singing it first, and then it's going to look like this when you actually play it. All connected, try your best. Ready. So you're going do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, la, sol, ti, la, do, ti, re, do. And that high re is your first finger D. Right? And it's the same going down, so it's do, la, ti, sol, la, fa, sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. 60 beats per minute might be a little hard to start out with this, so just do 2 beats per note, right? That is at 60 beats per minute with each note being a half note. Now, in light of how all our embouchures are probably feeling, I'm going to make that the homework this week. We will continue to get back to the piece, and I want to continue working on the piece. But right now, we need to get our chops back up. So your practice routine this week is going to be those 3 exercises and keep practicing the piece with the metronome. Next week, we will dive more into the entire piece. And in a couple weeks' time, I will have our final assignment on this piece, which is going to be you recording it and submitting it with a metronome so that I can splice it together and create a virtual orchestra for us. Now, that assignment, to be clear, I will say it as clearly as possible, that third exercise that we just did, 60 beats per minute with a metronome, going up and down with each note lasting 2 beats. So it's do, mi, re, fa, mi, sol, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, a little bit of a shorter lesson this week, but this is enough content to last you for the entire week to get back up your chops so that next week we can dive directly back into the piece. Email me if you do have any questions. Those are 3 different practice exercises you have so far and a piece to practice. I will talk to you during our next class.